I'd say I heard nothing in this election on population growth except what could possibly be a misconstrued comment by Varun Gandhi, But I think there really has been a change in how the population is viewed, which is, so Nandan Nilekani's phrase, the idea of a demographic dividend. But people, I think, are not talking about population growth anymore. They're talking about how India's large population is a great asset in terms of both talent and the potential for growth. In my own view, I think that is a good thing. I've always, what I hear about the population growth from the 70s and 80s, as you said, the bad name associated with the Indira Gandhi government, there was always an authoritarian ring to that, and so the fact that now people are talking about how to provide services to a population, are talking about the talents of the population, just at an ethical level seems to me a fairly positive development. Their point about infant mortality and health, which is, I think, an interesting, it's sort of a different point from control. Interestingly enough, there wasn't much discussion on that either. It wasn't part of the campaign. So we talk about the demographic dividend, but those education, investments in public health, and say they were far less emphasized in this election campaign than they should have been. And there was actually an article by an economist, Abhijit Banerjee, in the Indian Express a couple of days ago, asking why the ministries, say, of women and child development are never really given to people who have a strong record in this field. So I'd say what's interesting is that it's not a priority, even though it's an issue that's obviously so important.
I would just add to that I think, as Kanchan well knows, the consensus in certainly the development community is that the best way to address population growth is to raise the status and education of women. And so that to the extent that, and maybe we can conclude on this note, that it's not just physical infrastructure that is a challenge before this new government, ports, roads, and all the rest of that, but it's human infrastructure. And I think personally, I think one of the biggest challenges before this government is investing in health, education, and actually delivering results on that front to the vast majority of India's population that does not get the services at anywhere near the level that it needs, not only on a humanitarian basis, but really if India is going to sort of achieve its dreams of great power status, becoming not just a major economic power but whatever else it wants to become, it is not going to be able to do that if a large portion of the population, as is currently the case, remains completely cut off from opportunities for a basic decent education and basic health care. So human infrastructure is also a big challenge that this government is going to have to face.